Hello, everybody. I just looking through my box of Morgan dollars. Move these over here a little bit. Have this one out a lot, just because it's a beaut. Now, digging through back here, I got to the 1898 at these two, Philadelphia and the other Philadelphia. This one with the scar face, another 1989 or 1898 Morgan dollar, was nowhere to be found. I'm like, oh, where is that? Turns out it was back here after the 21 between it and the peace dollar. So I put it back where it was because it's kind of lost there for a moment. I about panicked because it wasn't a cheap one, actually. It's $36, and kind of see the scar on the face. It's a big gash, a big bag mark. Otherwise, this coin has got really good mint luster around the edge, all over it. I'll turn it this way. You can see the mint luster spiraling around on the front and back of it. So it's a really nice looking one, other than that bad scratch on the face there. Anyway, we put it back in the box. Let's pull up my red book here, and I'm going to talk about getting together a year set of Morgan dollars. Back to silver dollars. This box and just lay this down here. This book, I'll move this up a little bit. Starts with the 8 tail feather ones. It tells you the mintages. And you keep looking at all these. I'll go right back up on this. And get over here to 1893. You look at 1891, right here, it's like 8 million for the Philadelphia, 1.6 million for the Carson City, almost 8 million for the Orleans, and 5 million plus for the S. 1892, 1,037,000. So it dropped tremendously by 1892. You know, the O, the CC, and the S. But 1893, Philadelphia is just under 400,000. It's 389,000. 1893, 670 CC. That is 677. 300 for the O and 100,000 for the S. And that's why the S today, in good, runs you $2,000 to $3,000. The 1894 Philadelphia was a real low mintage one, 110,000. It's probably the second least minted one for the general strikes. Now, the 1895, they've got esoteric. It says 12,000 and 880. 880 is actually all they actually made of proofs. And even back, and this is a book from 1980, even back then, the proof was 17,500. The O and S mint ones for 1895 was 450 and 400. And then 1896, the mintages jumped back to similar to before, although none of them were reaching 10 or 11 million like they did in the 1880s and up until 1890, when the Philadelphia was almost 17 million made. Now, the next page Just goes through and shows. Let's get this way a little bit flatter. The mintage is going down. 1899 Philadelphia is kind of a 330,000. It's pretty low mintage. But a lot of the other ones are all a little bit higher. The 1903S is one, and 1902S are pretty low, 1.5 and 1.2 million. But the rest of them are 3-4 million. So there's plenty of those out there. This is why it's really hard to get a year set. Now, one coin from each year. Now, I have 4 1878s coins in here. One Carson City, Philadelphia, and 2 S ones. A couple 1879s and 1880, 1880S, 81, 81O, 81S, 82O, 82S, 83O, 84, 84S, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 1890 Carson City, which is heavily worn. Couple 1890 Philadelphia ones, including an 1890S. You look at these two. Obviously, this one was a little more pricey, a little bit better looking than what this one is. This one has breaks, very little mint luster left. It's probably fine range, maybe extra fine. This one, if I can get it to sit right, start seeing the mint luster going around it. So it's AU probably compared to that one. Go back here and drop them in. 1891 Philadelphia, old mint, 92, 92O. Then there's no 93s in my box because I have not found one where I thought I could buy it. Now I do have an 1894 O. Do not have the 1895s in here. 96, 97, 97S, 98, another 98. If I remember correctly, that one's not real bad looking. It does have mint luster left on it. Let's see, is the other one better? Other than that big chin ding. Let's see if we can't pull that up and have a good look at it. Big scratch right on the chin there. So it's got a little bit of problems with it. The Scarface 1898 O, 1899 O, 1900, and that one was cleaned, and I've done a little restoration to get rid of the smudgy looking stuff that was on it. 1900, 010, 02, 03, 03S, which is pretty worn. I think that one was one of the ones that's a little bit lower mintage, and then 1904, 21, and 21S, and then a 21 piece dollar. Anyway, let's go back and look at that in the red book. 1903S, yeah. Is that what that was? Yes. This one. It's a little bit lower mintage. A Morgan dollar. Let's see if I can't get this up here. 1903S, 1.2 million. So it's a somewhat lower mintage one. It might be one of the lower mintage ones I actually have for Morgan dollars. But I put a couple more in here since last time I counted them, so I'm going to count them. There's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46 Morgan dollars in the box, and the rest are peace dollars. Oh, JS Hound, not doing too bad. Just established that this is one that only has 1.2 million minted. There's the S mint on it. Now, we'll drop back into the peace dollars for a second because the 1928 Philadelphia peace dollar is a real low mintage one. It's 360,000 if I remember correctly. I'll open up the book. 28, yeah. I'll put it up here. And 1928. On focus. 360,649. A pretty low mintage. Now the peace dollars, the 27 and 27S are pretty low, 800 something thousand. The 34 Philadelphia is 950. The 34S is 1,011,000. These are some of the lower numbers that we would see in the peace dollars. 24S wasn't a whole lot, almost 1.7 million. 25S 1.6 and 26 is almost 2 million at 1.9 and change. The 27 Philadelphia and 27S were low mintage ones too. But the 28S, what the coin dealer on South 7th here in town told me about them is you opt to buy a 27 Philadelphia coin. He recommended buying a graded one because he said the chance that somebody might take one of these S or the 28D, I think it is. I think they made them in that year. No, they did not. So the only two options you have in 28 is the S Mint and the Philadelphia. Now the S Mint made quite a few more, but he said people would take these and somehow remove that mint mark there and do it in such a way that it doesn't stand out. I don't know exactly how they'd be able to do that because that's pretty distinct S. But anyway, he said they do it, and he's seen them. So it's one of those coins that if you buy a 27 Philadelphia, probably want it graded. Now, there was just over 1 million of 34S's made in high grade, very expensive coin. I have 3 of them in my box here, 34S's. So I think it's kind of neat being able to get these. That's an S on there. But anyway, and even back in 1980, which is what this vintage of this book is, this up here, and you'll see the 34S. If I can get it to focus, it's right down there, 1,011,000 minted. That says 3,500, and that is mint state 65. $3,500 back then. Now, in low grade, it's not really that great a coin, but in a higher grade, though, it starts getting pricey. Pulled this out of my safe. It's a real nice looking 41. Fairly common. Don't think it's full bands. I'm not sure I can get this to focus good enough, because this isn't going to go in a higher definition. It'll just be standard definition because it's a live stream. And see good mint luster if it'll focus. There we go. On this Mercury Dime. And it was only $4, but it's a very common date one. The mint marks right down there, right next to the E on one. So let's go ahead and move this box out of the field of vision and move the Churchill coin and the Morgan dollars over a little bit so I can talk about treasure chest. Well, this is the mid-size one I have. It'll hold a good $30 or $40 face. The one I picked for the challenge, though, is bigger than this one by quite a bit. Now, this bag is fairly hefty, and by the time I add in all these treasure chest challenge coins that I've picked up in the last 2 weeks, and a few more dimes, you know, Roosevelt dimes, and I've got 6 new Washington quarters, a dateless standing Liberty I got for $4, and then a 64 and a Benjamin Franklin 52 Denver. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in the bag and then talk about the bag. It's become a very chunky bag of 90% silver. Let's set that down. My most recent count before I made this had me at 65, and now it's 6805. Now, what's missing from this bag is 5 peace dollars and 1 Morgan and a very slick JFK. They're put away. I don't have them down here for this video, but yeah, this you take $650 off of this, you're coming up with 61.45, I think. That's why we have calculators. $68.05. Well, I thought I had it on 68. 68.05 minus 6.5. So yeah, it is 61.55. Now, how much troy ounces is that? Well, memory plus that. There's 2 different ways you can do it. You can take that number times 0.715 for circulated silver coins. Now, some of these are slicked out pretty bad, so it might be a little less. But that now stands at just over 44 troy ounces of silver in this bag. It's a tremendous amount of silver loose coins. And, you know, when I was talking to the other dealer I go to buy a lot of these, I bought most of these, not all of these standing Liberties with the dates gone from him at a, right near melt or just a little premium, not very much. The $4 one, actually, silver's price where it is really no premium at all. Well, except for the fact that So, sorry, I got distracted for a second. Except for the fact that being so slick, it's probably. Let's see if I got one in here. Yeah, there we go. Being the fact this is pretty heavily slicked and starting to lose the rim, it would probably weigh well under 6 grams. They started at 6.25, I think, if I remember correctly. But once you start losing the date and the rim and a lot of the details are all flat, your coin becomes a bit less than the amount of silver. Now this one ain't worn a whole lot, so it's probably still 6.2 grams or some such. It's probably lost just a little. And now they are, I want to say 12.5 grams. Now, with the middle worn off like this, kind of worn across, it might be like 12.3 or something. I've measured the weight on some of them. These Benjamins are pretty close to, the 12.5. I think it's 12.5. And all these dimes in here. A lot of Mercury dimes in this, and quite a few Roosevelts. There's actually even a few Barber coins in here. I don't know if I can get one out really easy. A few more. Oh yeah. Look at this dime. This Mercury dime has seen some days. It's bent horribly. I don't know exactly what happened to it, but that's tremendous wear and tear on that one. And then this one come out of one of the Morgan coin books, or not Morgan, but Mercury coin books. Little doubt in my mind someone polished this one up a little bit. But let's see if we can't find a Barber dime and quarter in here. Don't have a Barber half in here. Oh my God. Wish A.G. Stacker would show up. He counted out his bag that he used his contest to win some silver from. And this bag's got a lot more in it. That's a Philadelphia 64. Not much wear. I'm not seeing a Barber dime or quarter yet, and I know they're in here. There's quite a few Walkers and Benjamin Franklin halves in this too. Not very many JFKs though. There's exactly, including the slick one, three JFKs, and that's all the JFKs I've seen for sale this year. Here's a Barber dime. Heavily worn, 1914, no mint mark. So it's a Philadelphia. But I have maybe between 5 and 10. I don't know exactly how many it is. There's probably 30 or 40, maybe 30 of these. But there's over $20 face and dimes, so there's probably $15 of these in this. Quite a few Mercury dimes. I could have got more today, but every bag of dimes he had, he wanted $2.30 today, and I didn't want to buy them. I did buy today a bag with 3 Washingtons in it at $5 a piece, and I didn't think that was too bad. Now, I'll keep digging around here and see if I can't find the Barber Quarter. I know there's a few in here. Moved around and it becomes hard to find what we're looking for sometimes. Now, I don't have to tell you this one's pretty damn slick. You can see it. It's a Barber. The date's just about gone, but I can kind of make it out. I think it's a 1905. I don't see a mint mark under there. Let's see if we can't pull up the date better with the loop. Get the light to hit it. Thought it might be in 1895, but I don't think so. Best I can tell, that's a 0. Well, I don't know. The date's gone enough. I don't know if I can really tell for sure. It might be in 1895, but it's so worn across the bottom. I know that's a 5, but the rest I couldn't tell you. Now, there's another one right there. I was looking and looking, couldn't find any, and then all of a sudden I find another one real quick. A couple more slicks. This one's a bit slick too. It's a 1914. Where'd it go? And there looks to be a D on the back. The light to turn. There's a mint mark, and I'm pretty sure that is a D. They didn't make these in Orleans but I don't think they made them till 1914. I think the Orleans Mint closed by then. I don't remember exactly when it closed, but Benjamin Franklin, 62. Oh, this is the one that's got the rim gone. Doesn't look too worn otherwise, but I'll just hold these two together, and if I can get it to focus, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. This one's rimmed badly. Lots of rim damage. It's just a circulated 1960. No mint mark. But the treasure chest is probably about 20, maybe $30 away from being full. I'm going to have to do a video where I put all these in here and all my other coins for it. I'll start putting these back in. There is, like I said, there's a couple JFKs in here. I don't know if I can find them real easy or not. A lot of $50 in this. Oh wait, there's one of the JFKs right there. 64. And there's another one in here somewhere. Still a lot left in the bag. Let's see, do we have a Denver one? There you go. Come on. D right there by the stalk and the claw, or talons. So that's a 64D. This one does not have anything there. So it is just a 64 Philadelphia. Now they made right near 400 million of these between the two mints. So there's a lot of 64s. But this year I have not seen very many 64 Kennedys at all. So A.G. Stacker had, I think it was 1325 in face in his bank bag that he wanted people to guess. I guessed 18 because it didn't look like the bag was super weighted down to me, so I didn't end up winning, but that's okay. God, look at the bend on that when it's sitting on top of another coin. See how it rocks? Normally, if they're not dented, they just sit there. Unless you got it right across the thickest part of the Walking Liberty. So stack all this stuff up real quick. Yeah, that's a polished job. Anyway, this isn't a bad sized pile here on the table either, really. I'm just going to go ahead and keep piling these up. I get two good sized stack of dimes. Almost the same height. Actually, they seem to be about the same height. Not many halves. $7.50. 3 1/4. So that's $10.75 in halves in those. Pretty sure this many dimes is going to amount to near 40. Okay, it's 44 dimes, so it's 440, and what did I say on them? 10.75, I think it was. So that's 15.75, which I think that's pretty close to what A.G. Stacker had in oh, well, upscale flipping. What is going on here? I'm just hanging out. Talked about Morgan dollars for a while. Talked about this treasure chest challenge of coins, a smaller chest. What I'm trying to do is fill up a little bit bigger one than that with coins, 90% silver. And this bag is just over $60 of silver face value. It's getting pretty heavy. It's like 44 ounces, or troy ounces of silver in this bag. You can see it's getting to be pretty chunky thickness. It's starting to go up the bag pretty far. Figuring it's going to take probably $30 more face value to fill up the other treasure chest that I have. But I'm just doing a little hangout live stream just to have a little fun. Let's go back here and look at some peace dollars. By the way, this box had 46 Morgan dollars in it. It's quite well full of dollar coins. 1921 Philadelphia peace dollar. That's a bit worn. $75, still expensive coin. And just a nick over $1 million were made. I have 2 of them. The other one I had is a little bit better, and this one it's in a card holder, or not card holder, but a plastic holder, one of the coin um, airtight lock. This 22D is pretty nice. It has mint luster on it. And it is a Denver one, so the mint mark's down here. Right there, you can see the D. $22.50 Philadelphia. It's pretty worn. How'd you like to be able to buy a 1923 AU-ish? It's probably AU. Mint luster goes around it pretty good. How'd you like to be able to buy one of them for $19 today? Probably not going to be able to get it that cheap. How just a general circulated one like this for $18.50. 24. Another 24. This is $21.50. Some of these I bought a little while back. This is a relatively nice looking 1925 Philadelphia for $22. Oh, silver. Well, upscale grading, you don't send off coins to get them graded until you look at them a lot. And you're probably better off to talk to someone about grading coins who's done it a lot. Maybe a coin dealer you know. Because, and no, I'm not actually selling any coins. But the 26S, the estimate's over here. It's a little bit further over on this particular year than what they are in other years. But that's an S. Oh, yeah. It's an S. 27. Philadelphia, that's a bit worn. And might have been polished. Who knows? 28S, I showed earlier. Then there were no more coins after 28 until 1934. The 34S, a little bit lower, way off on price. I'm not selling these. That's when I bought them. If I decided to sell these, I would probably reprice them. I would assume, some of them anyway, because I'd want to make a little money. And I know some of these can probably be marked up a little bit from where they are. Now, 35 Philadelphia one for $30. Well, that might be closer to about what it would probably sell today. It's not a real great conditioned coin. It's got a little wear on it. The hair is kind of really smooth. Either that or it's a pretty poor strike. Another 35 that cost less when I bought it. I kind of, when I see 34 and 35 piece dollars and they're not real expensive, I buy them just because what's worth triple? 34S's? Yeah, well, USA Coin Guide says that good, they start at $75, but I was able to get these way cheaper because I think when I bought them, the coin dealer I bought them from got them in a large batch and didn't have a whole lot of money in them, so probably bought an estate, who knows. He just didn't put them up real high. 35S, and it says $30. And then probably the best looking piece dollar in the box, I would say. If not, it's right up next to them. 35S one here. Pretty nice, actually. Now, we'll go back and look at, I think the ones you were really talking about that's way off, like this. 24 piece dollar, 1850. I know Money Metals once, for what they call coal conditioned piece dollars, 35 bucks a piece. So I know if I sell this today, I could probably easily add a 2 on the front of it, or make it $33, $34, make a decent amount of money and sell it pretty quick. If you put it at 35, it might be slow to sell, but 32, it would probably sell. I don't know. Would you pay $32 for this Morgan dollar if I was selling it? And then I think this one only blows your mind because it says $19 on it. Look at that mint luster across that field. Well, that's a high AU at least. Might even be brilliant uncirculated. I'd have to look at it a lot closer than I have. It does appear to have a scratch up here across the BUS into the head. I don't know how easy that would be to see. Yeah, it looks like a bit of a scratch or something, because that's certainly not one of these rays coming off the rising sun. I assume that's what that's supposed to mean. You would give $45 for this piece dollar. This one right here. 45. I might have to rethink my policies about selling these. What do you think you'd give for this one, upscale? I know you can't see it because this isn't in HD. There's a little rat-a-tat-tat mark right here. It's somewhat distracting, but it's not horrible. This particular piece dollar's got good eye appeal, even if it's a very common date. And let's see, how many 1923s did they mint? $30 million for 1923 Philadelphia. And this old book says mint state 60 was $10, but it's a series 1980. And that says it's the 33rd edition, but it's 1980 book. Yeah, I probably wouldn't sell them until I see eBay prices. I'll start putting these up. But no, this 23 piece dollar, what do you think it'd be worth? I mean, because that's an impressive mint luster on that. I mean, well, they made 30 million that year, so there's a lot of them out there. Usually when I go anywhere and they have piece dollars, they have 22s and 23s and 24s. And that's about all they usually have. Now, while you're here, upscale, let me show you a different box. Show you that I could be a serious coin dealer if I wanted to be. I don't know if you know what this is, but or the length, but I can tell you right now, this is 14-inch long double wide box full of quarters and halves. 90% silver, most of them. We started with Barber Quarters, an 1892 one here that it's got 3 prices that have been marked out, and I paid 5 1/4 when I bought this. I don't remember exactly when it was. It's not real bad. It's the first year they made the Barber Quarters. But I'm going to go ahead and show you this box. Front to back, you're talking about 260 total coins in this box. And the last about 50 or so coins are half dollars. And there are a few silver 40% ones like this, bicentennial one. A few. I say a few, but there might be more than a few, really. Because in here I have some other 40%. I'll pull these out because the 40% ones are not worth as much. But I have a few of them in it. So they're not all 90% ones in this. That's a nice looking 67. A 68 says toned reverse. And yeah, 68D, which looks pretty nice. 68P, still in the mint wrap. A 6090 that's kind of dull looking. And then 69S proof that's really shiny. Really, really shiny. Surface almost looks like glass. And I have a couple of the much lower mintage than most of what the 65 to 69 ones got. Proofs. 70S. It's a 650. I think that's probably going to be more today. A 70S here. Another one that's bought at a slightly different time. It's a really nice looking proof coin too. I have a 69D or 1970D one that I bought that it came out of an uncirculated roll of them, and it was $13.50, but it ain't in this box. Now, wait, how'd that get out of order? This 65 got out of order, and look at that. I don't know what the heck that is on it. It looks like dirt, but it's kind of ruins the value, and look at that one quite a bit. But it wasn't in the right order. So I'm getting to the 64 Kennedys. I found exactly 3 of these this year. Look at the price on that one. Even though these are considered like a dime a dozen, 5 1/4, 5.75. This at 11.50, and it looks, oh, that's nice mint luster. That's a real nice looking one. Yeah, that one's not much different. 64D, that's pretty nice. And that's pretty nice too. But they made a lot of 64s. But yeah, 5.75. Not getting that cheap today. I'll put these back in the box where they go. There's 3 Benjamin Franklins in here. And then the rest are Walkers, and one 6.75. That's a nice price. That's definitely one I could probably damn near double my money on. $52. That's a pretty nice looking 1960. I'd have to say that's totally uncirculated. Anyway, we'll put them back and talk about the Walkers. Grab the first few 50-cent coins out of here. Barber 1907S. It's the only Barber in $half in this. S mints down here. Definite S. Throw it back in the box behind this modern Texas proof silver one. That's kind of cool. 5 1/4. Now, second year for these. They first started making them in 1916. 1918D. This claims to be very good. It still has some details. It's kind of, something's a little beat up looking on it though. So I might not totally agree with that being very good. But it is an S mint. Early S mint. And there's another one that's a bit more worn than this one is. $8 when I bought that. Not in change. I've got one somewhere, but it's not in my change. It might be in my Seated Liberty coins box. 27, 27S, then a 35 and 36. I made walkers quite a while. But yeah, that's not all. That's 260 quarters and $half. That's a pretty weighty box. This is a box of dimes. About the same number, give or take. A good 260 of them in there, maybe a little more. Again, it starts with Barber Dimes, 1892, first year of issue, $4. Could probably get more for it than $4. But then in 1893 for $4 as well. You know, and I have a 1900S. Put the S mark down there. Now, in this box of 260 some dimes, there might be 266, right? And so any Morgans, I don't know anything about the dimes. There's a lot of Mercury Dimes in here, including quite a few early date ones. I just bought 2 1916 Mercuries today. That, and the last Barber in here is the 16S. $3 a piece. The ones I bought today were $2.75. They were maybe slightly more worn than these, but the 1916D is a real low mint. And to buy one in pretty good shape would probably cost more than all the dimes in this box did. I think they start good, and at good for that, you'd pay like a recent price I saw was like over $1,000. Now, 13 inches of Mercury Dimes all the way to the back, and then over here it's 44s, 45s, another couple inches. Where's the 45? Micro S. I thought it was in here. $45, the last year of issue for these. Thought I had a Micro S one in here, but apparently I don't. Then there's probably about 12 inches of Roosevelt dimes from 46 until 64. And there's even proof ones. No love for these. Nobody nobody thinks these are worth much. I mean, $1.75. It might be $2.50 today. Another 64 proof for $1.50. I mean, I bought these over several years. Just oh yeah, $1.10. Well, it's generally circulated, but and at the back I have the modern proofs that are 90% silver. About looks like about 10 of them maybe. I did you 225, 250, 275. No real high prices. But this is about as nice looking a Roosevelt dime you'll ever see because it's a proof and I done them nice, and whoever put these in there took them right out of the mint set, I guess. The last one in is a 2011. It was 250. There's, but that's. But McWay, I'm not willing to sell any Morgan dollars. I mean, someday I might, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm not. When I retire, yeah, maybe. You still around, McWay? How you like this one? It's an 1898. Oh, kind of a key date one. Not key date, but I mean a common date one. Didn't used to be though. For a long time, people thought almost all of these got melted until someone dug around in a treasury vault or something and found bags of. That's why you can find 1898 old ones uncirculated. This one's got slight cleaning issues. I mean, but the amount of chatter on the face is almost non-existent. It's very little. There's hardly any chatter on this one at all, really. There's scratches on it, but that happens to all these because in the 1880s, 1890s, and they wanted to transport these around. They still use stagecoaches and stuff then. So they throw the stuff in the back of a wagon or a stagecoach, and it would sit in a bag. Every bump, it would they just get rattled on top of each other. How you like this one? I believe this one's a proof light. And the reason why I say that is because the surface of the field is very reflective. I mean, in a box of Morgan dollars laid out on, or not box, but holders, like you see at a coin dealer, the 2x2 holders that hold each coin. You can tell us about it, but I don't know. I don't know how to have people be like a guest on my live stream. I've never actually done it, so I don't know how to do that. Oh, here you go, McWay. Look what happens when you hold a Morgan dollar behind this glass gemstone. It's a kaleidoscope effect. It's really cool, actually. I got this in the mail the other day. I just bought it. Now I have a reddish looking one. Well, it looks red against. It looks red against that. It's really more yellowish and a little orangish. I bought this at one of the um, jewelers here in town. They had them. They weren't going to use it. It's the last one they had. It's a slightly bigger around than this one is. But I think this one's cut with more facets like a diamond would be. It's the paperweights, what they call them. It's not real heavy though. You can get them bigger than this though. I think I've seen them 80 millimeters or bigger for sale. They're a little bit more pricey than these were. But oh, well, what do you got, JS? You seen this before? This is a Morgan dollar that they ground the date off, and one of my coin dealers in town had a story as to why that's happened. They said they took these and they used to use them in slot machines out in Reno, I think it was, or Vegas, one of the two. And they used these back in the 70s in the slot machine. And to keep people from taking the older coins home, the Morgans, they ground the date off of them. Well, this one, the details and the look of it tells me it's a 21 Philadelphia, just because of the way the design looks. And you can't really see the date. I have another one that's in my treasure chest where you can actually see part of the date. So what do you got, JS Hound? What's your Morgan dollar? Is it Carson City? Because I've got a GSA box one. Hold on a second. This might be one of the last things I would show tonight. They did these up in 1972. It's an 1882 Carson City. Uncirculated. Pretty good mint luster. We'll see if we can get. There's the Carson City. Sweet. Now, I looked at these at Mix, and they wanted like $3.59 the other week or two ago. This one's got some general chatter and bag markings on it, on the face and everywhere else in the field, but it's still a Carson City Morgan dollar, and it's pretty nice. Let's see if we can get the mint luster to spiral. Good. Morgan's forehead. It's kind of flat, isn't it? It's kind of unnatural looking, but people still consider it a beautiful coin. Anyway, the box. Let's see if we can get this up here a little bit closer and read what it says, maybe, if it'll focus. It says, as we approach America's bicentennial, this historic silver dollar is one of the most valued reminders of our national heritage. Richard Nixon. Probably the only thing that he did that some people would consider honorable. But what about Morgan's forehead? Oh, that sounds real cool, Jazz Hound. I didn't see what you said. I'm reading it now. Beautiful 21 PAU Morgan for helping us. Scoped it and took to my house. Yes, neat. Firmed it's the VAM on both sides and a 2 millimeter strike through in the front of Morgan's forehead. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And now I'm showing coins. Why not? This might not look like a whole lot, but it's what's in it. Some of the oldest coins I have. An 1833 bust dime, kind of beat up. Pretty good size gouge in the coin right there. That's pretty cool. One of my biggest error dimes. That's way off struck. That one was a gift, by the way. Can't complain about free coins. Let's pull these 2-cent pieces out. And let's talk about Flying Eagle cents. 1857 and 1858. They made a few in 1856, but very few. These two weren't a cheap pair of coins. And then I go into seated Liberty coins, a couple half dimes. This is the very first coin that I did a video for on my, the Morgan dollar, GS? Anyway, this is the first coin I ever did a video for. And the video's gotten like 10. I've done 2 takes, and the other one's got like 14. Well, not seeing the coin, I can't tell you what you should do if it's a fairly rare strike through kind of error thing, it might be worth sending it. What did your coin dealer say about it? Did he make you an offer to buy it? That one's got a ding hole in the middle of it. $2.50. Can you believe you can get a seated dime? It's beat up severely, but for $2.50. This is one of the better looking ones I have in 1852. Might have been cleaned. It looks like the full Liberty's on it, although the Y might be a little weak. The back's really nice, though. The front was as nice as the back. It might be better than that. 53 of arrows, 62. Let's go back a little bit to this one. Carson City dime. One of the nicer looking coins I have. There's the little CC underneath the reef. That's a fairly nice one there. I have 2 of the same year. This one's not quite as nice. That's I don't even know what grade I would throw on this one. CC shows up pretty good on the back, though. The only other Carson City dime I have is this one. That's front's not as bad as the back. It's kind of worn, though. But this is the other type where the CC is inside the reef. I'm trying to get one that's better shaped because this scratched up pretty bad. You can see the CC right there. All right, let's throw this back in the box. Back where it goes. Before Philadelphia. Oh, let's go back a little further because I have that's one that might be gradable. Not sure though. The back's a little more worn, so that gives me a little pause. But it's a 20-cent coin, which they didn't make very many of them, and not for very long either. Just a few years. That's the most common mint one. And there you go, a Carson City quarter, 1876 as well. Let's see if we can get this to focus. Carson City. This box isn't super large, but it's got some pretty nice coins in it. There's a few $50 in it as well. In 1843, it's pretty old. That's going back a little ways. This one, 1855, and it's with arrows by the date. The back's pretty nice. I mean, if the front was as sharp as the back is, we might be talking about fine. Also, probably be talking about a bit more money. This is good too, very good too fine. 1860, right before the Civil War. The back on it was as nice as the front. It would probably be a little bit better. It'd probably be a full fine. I think they're saying this is about very good, and this is probably fine on the front. It's kind of in between. $65, and that's when I got quite a few seeded coins. And I get these back in here where they go. And let's talk about one other one. This is damn near totally gone. It's got the date and the outline on the front. The back's got the outline of the eagle and very little details. But I found this in my coins and did not remember buying it. It's kind of funny. Totally forgot I had bought one. That's because it's kind of beat up and wasn't real valuable. I don't know. $6 on an 1877 Seed of Liberty quarter. Does that seem like a pretty good price to you? It's got ring damage and wear, but all right. Let's start going back. There's at least a couple more coins in here I want to show. Kind of a beat up, but key date 21. Mercury Dime. These are my more premium coins. 31S, it's a little bit lower mintage one. But this one sparkles. Let's see if we can get it to focus good. It's 39D with full bands on the back. Now it does. Let's see if we can get this to focus good. It's got a little gash on the sticks that I can see. It's up near the top bands. But this being low definition, standard definition filming, you probably won't be able to see it. It has slight pitting on the front, but very little in the way of bag marks or anything like that. Let's go back and show something else I'm kind of happy that I was able to get. That's probably been slightly polished, so it's fine. Might be a little over. There's a lot of good detail on the back of this, though. It's a very busy coin. I mean, all the stars, the ribbon, the eagle, all this. There's a lot of stuff on this back of this coin. So the front, it's a little more plain looking, but it's not a bad looking Barber Quarter. One of the better ones I have. I'm going to show you this 1930s AU standing livery. It has mint luster left on it. If I can get it to light to hit it just right. But anyway, this is a $78 coin, and to go up to mint state ones doubles the price at least to 150 or so. Pull out these 32S. S mints down here, $60. 32D, $80. Reason why these are so high, because both of these are under 500,000 mintage. The lowest mintage of any of these for circulation, Washington quarters. A not real bad looking 39D. I'd say it's probably AU, although no one's written any grading on it. Oh, yo, the 1979D 40% Kennedy half. And I'd have to say mint state. I mean, it's a pretty nice looking one. 1350 seems like a lot, but they just made around 2 million of these, so it's a real low mintage. Well, JS Hound, I would ask him, call him up when he's open next, and ask him if he would send it off to be graded. If he wants to look at it again, that's probably a good sign, and then he can give you a better idea. Most of the rest of this is more common date stuff. Benjamin Franklin's, Barber. This Barber Dime here has a little bit of detail left on it. $6.50. It's kind of a nice looking Barber Dime, actually. Most of them are worn flat. A little bit nicer looking 1917, although it's kind of dull. 1917S. It's an early Mercury. What else is left in here that might be interesting to see? Wheat pennies. This 41S is a little bit lower mintage. It's not super low though, but it's pretty old to be this kind of condition. That's why my coin dealer said it was $18. It's every bit AU. I might grade mint state, I don't know, but it costs a lot to grade these coins, and if you don't get a high enough mint state, it's not going to make it one that you can reasonably grade. We'll get this back where it was. I think it's right there. Oh, someone mentioned W quarters. This is one I got from my coin dealer. This is the only one I've ever had, I got. You can see the W there. And it's this design on the back. It's got slight circulation on it, but it's pretty nice. $8 might have been more and I should have paid for it, but I've never found one in my change yet. Now, believe me, I look at my quarters. Let's put this back where it was and show you this. This is a Philippine coin. The most recent time I saw one of these, my coin dealer had one. It was $15, I think. It's a 1907. Oh, it's a neat design. I saw it and I immediately was going to buy it. Even, $11. Where is the S-Mint on these? Oh, it's right there on the front. right below that little dot, S mint. It's a fairly large coin. Not quite as big around as a Morgan dollar, but and it's 80% silver apparently. But I like that shield and eagle design. I think that's pretty cool. So I was going to buy that one regardless of how worth, how much it's worth. If only this was real and not a replica copy. This is a Confederate struck New Orleans Mint $50. Well, this is a replica. It says copyright there. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's made out of pewter or something. But if you had the actual coin or even the restrikes, it's a very valuable coin. What's left in the box is fairly common date stuff. 1964 proof. I hate these little holders, though. I need to put it in a bigger holder. What's left in here? Another 40% JFK bicentennial. Some of the modern proof ones. Quarters as well. Quite a few of those, actually. 1/10 ounce Walker. This is made by Money Metal Exchange. I like this coin. Round, whatever you want to call it, 10th ounce. 4.9 silver. It's pretty nice, though. Yeah, a little toning on JFK proof right on the shield here and on his hair. And there really ain't a whole lot more to talk about in this box. But, there's a lot of, nicer and different coins, and I'm trying to fill it up all the way, take out some of these more common stuff. This is just a modern copper nickel proof JFK. It needs to come out and be replaced by something a lot more rare than this. This fairly common Mercury Dime needs to come out too. Anyway, yeah, JS Hound, if you want to grade a coin, my suggestion to you is to definitely take it to your coin dealer again and ask him if he had the coin, if he would grade it. Or if you know a coin dealer who does a lot of grading of coins, go to him and see what he says. Because you don't want to just take one that is might be what you think it is and send it off and grade it and find out that it isn't exactly what you think, because errors and different die type things and rarities like that, you have to pay extra to get that put on there. Otherwise, they'll just grade it as, let's say you have one of these that was, this one looks like it's proof-like. If I sent it as is and didn't ask for them to designate proof-like, they probably just put whatever they graded it. Be it mint state 65, 64, whatever, AU even, who knows? I mean, you have to look at these things a lot, because if this $44, by the time you pay for the straight grading and then the proof-like designation, which I think you have to pay extra for them to tell you whether or not it's proof-like. I'm talking NGC or CGS. Wouldn't send it to IGC because I don't like their holders, and nobody else does either. But ANAX wouldn't be too bad of an idea. I don't know how respected they are on the grading, but at least they authenticate your coin. But I will tell you one thing about IGC that was kind of odd. I was watching some Coin Help user videos, and he had some that they graded, they put in the holders, and they said they were counterfeit or copies or whatever it was. And I think they put it that way and for educational purposes only or something like that. So it wasn't a real Morgan dollar, but it was in a holder, and it said it was not genuine, which is interesting because I didn't know anybody would do that. I thought they would just send it back and say it's not genuine. But apparently the IGC will put them in a holder and say that, because I've seen the video with them. It's interesting. Anyway, I've been on for almost an hour and a half. Had fun. Showed off a lot of my coins. Oh, I did a live stream about insuring your coins. This could be insured. This could be insured. Even this, because they were all made for circulation. However, that can't be insured. This Krugerrand, Philharmonics, Britannias, American Silver Eagles, they're made for bullion and they're made for an investment. They're not made for circulation. Therefore, most insurance companies will not insure them. Not as a coin collection type thing. I like Krugerrands and I like some of the, I got American Silver Eagles and some other ones that are pretty nice. But any of them that are made for bullion cannot be insured. Very important thing to know if you're planning on insuring coins. The other thing about insuring coins, coin collection, like I have shown in this video, you go to insure this, they would want you to take them to a coin dealer who would authenticate and price all your stuff. Well, not authenticate, but evaluate it and tell them that it is worth what I'm claiming. And, who knows how much all this is really worth, because I haven't really added it up. I've been buying a few coins here or there for years and years, and it just, with never selling it, it starts adding up and start getting a lot of coins. I mean, if you watch this very long at all, oh yeah, for authentication only, that's probably a good idea, GS Hound. That way it is what you think it is. And I think ANAC's costs less to do that than PCGS or NGC would. And it would just tell you if that's what you think you have is what it is. So it'd probably be the best idea for that is to have it sent off and authenticated. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this video live to where people can watch it, because I don't think a whole lot of people watched it tonight. And it costs way less than the others, I bet. So I'm going to leave it to where people can watch this. And believe it or not, I haven't even shown nearly all of my coins, as many as you've seen in those two big boxes and the Morgans and these. I have another box this size with dimes. I've got containers with coins in them. I've got some that I haven't put in a box yet. I got this monster bag of 90% silver, which it's $60+ face value in this. Very heavy. But I've got a lot more coins I could show. But this is starting to get to be a pretty long live stream. In fact, it's the longest one I've ever done. Got about an hour and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and wish you all to have a good night. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and set it up on my YouTube channel to where people can watch it, and go ahead and put this other stuff up. So have a good night, people, and safe stacking.